Yo, what's going on, guys? How you guys doing? Methodz here, bringing you guys a Black Ops 4 Q&A. As you can see, I'm using the same mic. The new mic I've been talking about forever is behind me on the bed. It's giving me some issues. I'm trying to build it, and it's pretty much built, but the way my desk is, I have like nothing to attach it to, and I try bringing in like a little table, and it just, I'm gonna have it as soon as possible for you guys. It's very annoying for me, but I'm sure it's more annoying for you. So if you guys saw my tweets, Treyarch and Activision invited me out to the Black Ops 4 reveal event, and we actually got to play the game a few days before that. It was me, JCap, and Slasher as the pro players, and then we had Mud Dog there, who is a former player and now works for Activision doing some COD World League stuff. So we got some hands-on with the game. We got some intel about the game, and the first things first, I want to say I thought the game felt really good. I was extremely happy to be able to play it early, and I think everybody's going to be extremely happy when they're actually able to get their hands on it. So I tweeted out for a bunch of questions, and I got a lot of the same questions. So I'm going to answer pretty much the ones I got a lot of without really saying any names. I'm just going to talk about it openly. The most frequently questioned, the one I got the most is obviously how do I feel about the new health system? Obviously the 150 health instead of 100, as well as having to manually heal yourself. So I think people are definitely overthinking how drastic it's going to be. It's essentially just like auto regen, but you actually have to trigger it. And I think it's going to add for some cool plays. Like, for example, say you're in a gunfight, you're in a 1 versus 1, and you're each weak. If one of you goes to heal, it's a really fast process. It's not like other games where you're sitting there bandaging up. You pretty much just stab yourself and your health starts going up. So, say two of you are weak and I want to rush a guy and I catch him healing. That's going to add a pretty cool aspect to the game where it's going to reward aggressive players and sometimes it's going to reward the slower players. So it's just going to depend. The time to kill is a little bit longer. Like I noticed it when I had a submachine gun at range versus like an assault rifle player. It's definitely not as easy to get like a 4 or 5 bullet kill. It's a little bit more than that. But overall, I mean, the time to kill felt good. You know, the game felt like a Treyarch game. If I could describe it, I would say it felt like Black Ops 2.5. It sort of has that Black Ops 2 feel, as well as the speed and the sort of look of Black Ops 3. That's another question I got a lot is how fast is this the fastest boots in the ground game so far? You got to keep in mind we played a pre-alpha build, so the game will change and there's going to be tweaks and whatnot. But the game was extremely fast. So you guys saw the slide feature. It's pretty much the Black Ops 3 slide, but it seems like it goes a little further and a little faster. So I think personally that there should be a tiny tweak to the slide because it was super fast and the game felt really fluid. You know the maps were good. As you guys know, it was 5 versus 5, but if we stay the same for competitive, it's obviously 4 versus 4. That's a question I'm getting a lot too. Is comp going to be 5 versus 5? I don't think anybody knows as of right now. We're still 4 versus 4. It hasn't been announced otherwise, but that's pretty much all I know about the 5v5, 4v4 stuff. I felt like the maps are made for 5 versus 5 in pubs. You know, if there was 6 players, it would sort of be a little too hectic, but yeah, so the health I think is going to be pretty cool, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. Obviously, it's a change, and it could be great, and it could be not so great, but we're going to find out. Another thing people asked about were the maps. So the maps were super colorful and vibrant, which is really good. Yeah, you want to play the game. All these colors are popping out at you, your bright reds and whatnot. And you also got a ton of new features with the new specialist. So my favorite personally was I was using the grapple gun guy where you can grapple to a certain area pretty quickly and then like ground pound with the gravity spike. So that was one of my personal favorites. Obviously you got a few more with the recon guy where he shoots the sensor dart. You obviously have your fire break returning. So specialists are specialists, man. They're obviously powerful, but the thing is now they have like that special issue gear, like I said, which is a cluster grenade for I think one of them. Then you have the grapple gun and things like that. So they're adding a lot of new fun features that I think are going to be really entertaining to be a part of. So Looney Kyle asked, "Do you think player roles will be a thing in Black Ops 4?" Definitely. So obviously you have to choose different specialists. So for example, whoever has the grapple gun can make some really aggressive plays with that. He has someone one shot, he can grapple a wall towards him and just get to him ASAP. So I think there's definitely going to be some set roles, and I'm excited to see how that necessarily pans out. Tayson Wilson asked, "Would you want any new competitive game types?" So I'm not sure if you guys saw, but they actually debuted a new game type called Control, and it was pretty unique. So you pretty much have 25 lives per team per round. It was first to 3 round wins, so it was a best of 5. and it was honestly pretty awesome. I think it would need a few minor tweaks to being competitive, but I think it's definitely something interesting and new. So like I said, it's 25 lives per team, and there's basically two capture points. There's an A and a B, and obviously they're decently far away from each other. The maps were pretty small, so like it wasn't that far away. So um, basically you can either kill the other team 25 times and win it, or you can cap both points, and then vice versa. So if you're on defense, your goal is to kill them, their whole team collectively 25 times without losing both zones. So I think it definitely has potential, and I'm excited to see if we try it, how it pans out, really. Sub-Zero said, is Black Ops 4 the fastest boots game out of the COD series? In the pre-alpha build, I would say yeah. It felt really fast, and that's not a bad thing. It makes sense because the submachine guns, like I said, at range with 150 health, it's not as easy to beam people and map people. So as of right now, I would say it's the fastest. Daniel Perez, the real Dap, said, "What's your favorite thing about the game? Streaks, specialists, weapons, etc." I can't really talk about weapons too much just because we only had a certain amount per class set for like we only had like 3 ARs, 3 subs, so we didn't get the chance to use them all. All the guns felt really good, but my favorite thing about the game is like a pretty general statement. I just like the feel of it. It's a Treyarch game, and it feels like a boots game. Like I said, it's pretty quick, but Treyarch knows how to make Call of Duty feel good, and I'm just gonna say the overall feel and look because the maps look really vibrant. They're really cool, and it's pretty generic, but that's how I feel about it. Thoughts on the time to kill? Yeah, no less. I discussed a little bit. It's you can notice it a little bit, but it's not too drastic. So the reason they did that is so like they can make certain attachments on certain guns actually matter. So like for example, long barrel now is going to matter more than it would in the current game we're playing. So KJ Bada said, "What is your favorite new feature for Black Ops 4?" Well, I didn't get a chance to play it, but my favorite feature, without even seeing it yet, has to be the Blackout mode, which is obviously the Battle Royale mode that was announced. I think it's gonna add something cool. Like for example, now if you're playing the game, you can play team scrims, but like for casual play, a lot of people play different games because if there's no eights going on, no one really wants to play pubs. I think this is gonna add a great aspect to where you can literally just hop on the game whenever you want and have fun. I love the fact that they're gonna make like the one big map include like a bunch of small maps from previous games. Like I can just picture like, yeah, where we dropping boys, and it's like raid or summit or something cool like that. So I'm really excited for the blackout mode. Like it wasn't ready to play. None of us got any look at it, unfortunately. But I think that's probably my favorite thing that came out of it. And league play, of course. Obviously, league play coming back. I trust that's going to be way better than the Black Ops 2 one. And the Black Ops 2 one was the best one we had so far. So I think they're just going to improve on that. And I'm excited for those two new features, or one new feature and one returning but better feature. This is a good question. Jaws16 said, "How excited are you for predictive recoil, and how do you think it can affect the meta?" Well, predictive recoil is very important because it's going to add an actual skill gap. For example, some players will probably be better with certain guns that they master the recoil for compared to other players. And it's also going to separate sort of the pro community from the amateurs. I think the pros are going to be able to get a real good hang of the predictive recoil and get good with a certain weapon and really outmatch other people who are using that particular weapon. So I think it's going to add something really good for Call of Duty as a whole, not even just competitive, and I'm excited for it. Binks asks, "What's your opinion on the attachment system?" So if you guys saw the announcement, basically every gun doesn't have the same attachments anymore. For example, the assault rifles and submachine guns have different attachments. So a submachine gun may have stock, and an assault rifle may have quick draw, and each class set's not going to be able to use those specific attachments. It's not one of those things where it's like you can only use 3 attachments per weapon. There's a ton of attachments. It's just that some are unique to certain classes of weapons, and I think that's pretty cool. Like I think it's something new, and I'm super excited for it. So looking forward to that. And that's all the questions I have for everything. I think I pretty much touched on everything. Oh, the last thing I want to touch on is the new minimap, of course. It's called Fog of War. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not sure how I feel about it yet for competitive. In a sense, it basically adds situational awareness for players that didn't have great situational awareness. So I really don't know how it works 100%. I only played, like, I would say, like 8 games, but I do know some of the things are, for example, if I'm flanking a certain player and I cross his teammate's screen, and I'm in his teammate's line of sight, I'll pop up on the mini map, so the guy can just turn around and know exactly where I am. So I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I still got to play with it more, but it's something new, and I'm not against something new. I think change can be really good, but change can also be not so good. So it's just one of those things. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I think I pretty much touched on everything. Obviously, the 150 health, that's gonna be really cool to see how it necessarily plays out. The maps super colorful. Really liked them. The guns felt good. The game felt like a Black Ops game. Like I said, it feels like Black Ops 2.5. You can feel aspects of both. Every Black Ops game really in it. And I really didn't touch on score streaks too much, but score streaks seemed like, you have your UAVs, your counter UAVs, you had your Hellstorm missiles. So I really didn't get a chance to screw around with the score streaks too much, but I think we're in for a good year. I think Black Ops 4 and Treyarch are people we can count on, and I'm excited. So I hope I'm able to answer some of your questions, and hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.